We were talking a little bit about differing styles, country to country, and the way people are trained in their chosen weapon. And you talked a lot about Jamie's classical style. I suppose coming up against someone of the skills of Zhang, who's obviously learned his weapon in a very different way, I suppose. Something is not difficult, not easy rather, to replicate in training.
Yeah, I mean, Zhang's obviously very quick in his feet. You know, he's got a rapid attack, but there again, Fitzgerald is used to fencing Singapore fencers and Asian fencers at international competitions. He's done the circuit, so he'll probably have a game plan in mind, I suspect. Fitzgerald this time pressing, both very active on their feet.
Jamie Fitzgerald already looks just that little bit brighter than he did in the semi-finals.
Yeah, beautiful. Just caught him on preparation there as he was about to step forward. There we go again. It's those really great direct explosive attacks that are very simple from Fitzgerald. If he just gets his point on, he's so dangerous. Fantastic carrier pass, and what I was talking about, he just has to perfectly time it, perfectly execute it like he's doing so. And of course, you know, Zhang's going to find it difficult to hit Fitzgerald because also of the height difference. He's going to have to be careful.
Zhang's blade seems much more active than Jamie's, which would obviously point to what you were saying about those direct attacks that Fitzgerald's able to pull off.
Fitzgerald tried to step in, counter-attack, but Zhang just caught the last-minute parry pass off target. Slight little technical issues, off target light. He's just put his plug back in. It's still off target. Might be something a bit funny with his point. He's just going to test it. He's asked Jamie to tap his blade, and yet it's still off target. So he'll have to change his weapon now.
Yep, so just a little hiatus as Zhang goes for another weapon.
So they're going to retest just to check that his new blade, his new point's working. And then it's back to action.
A limit on the number of weapons they can have with them, or as many as is required?
Yeah, really it's up to 5 weapons, really. You know, you really should, if you're looking at international level, should at least have a minimum of 3, because quite often you snap your blades in the middle of a fight as well. And of course there can be technical issues. Really nice. Fitzgerald just waited for Zhang to finish his phrase, finish his attack, and then he took up the remise of the attack. Beautiful hit. I must say, he seems very composed, relaxed, and controlled, Fitzgerald.
So very different from the Jamie Fitzgerald we saw in the semi-final. Zhang again so far over on that right-hand side of that piece.
He's trying to get up close and do last-minute big attacks, but he's just fallen short again. Fitzgerald is timing his counter-attacks perfectly. He's stepping in just as Zhang is attacking. And Zhang just doesn't have the time or the momentum to hit him. He's not getting his point on this time. Fitzgerald's really using the distance very well. He's either keeping a long enough distance to catch the riposte, or he's stepping in and closing the distance. Nice parry riposte. He's up for it. It's the first time I've really seen him shout, apart from his final hit in the semi-finals. Usually he's quite a composed fencer, but he's really letting it go this time.
Not surprisingly as well, 5-0 up with just 40 seconds to go in the first period in this, the gold medal match of the men's foil here at the Commonwealth Fencing Championships 2014. And some very vocal support from Jamie Fitzgerald as well.
Oh, fantastic. Again, he's just closing the Singapore fencer out, and he doesn't know what to do. He's not fencing within the distance that he likes to fence. Attack is straight, right from the left. Just see Fitzgerald is just that little bit one step ahead of his opponent. He always starts a little bit earlier. Oh, what a fantastic hit on preparation.
And Zhang seems somewhat perturbed about what is happening. He's not had it all his own way through this afternoon, but he's been very much in control of his fights. He's not found himself in anything like this kind of situation.
Yeah, and what's been interesting these past few finals, we've again, all these, they've all been single lights. He's really fencing very, very well, Fitzgerald. But just saying, I have noticed in the finals that they have sort of been very one-sided, actually. Last few finals, it kind of been, it's always an opponent who's either having a lesson taught to them, being schooled, and this is what we found in these championships is, experience perhaps does win over. Yep, the referee's just saying to the lady to get a bit closer to the time so she can, so it's sensitive enough to put it on and off.
We have a pantomime groan from the audience there as we have one or two more issues with the remote control, controlling the clock.
Yep, they're now going to have to run it down to the clock to where it was, obviously.
This is probably the last thing that Jamie Fitzgerald needs, and the scores have swapped over now as well. I'm sure they'll resolve that.
But as fencers, that this sort of thing does happen. There are technical issues, and at the same time, we're trained to deal with these situations and to stay in the zone, to not let this distract you, and to keep your focus and concentration up. All right, this is it now. Back in the game.
End of the first period then, and Jamie Fitzgerald has absolutely dominated that and takes a 9-0 lead over Zhenggang Zhang of Singapore. Yep,
he's on fire, really. There's not much to say. Donny, his coach there for today, just came up to Fitzgerald. He didn't have anything to say. He just said, keep doing what you're doing. And I think that's about right. He's just, he's in a very controlled and composed manner, picking his opponent off. And like I said before, he seems to be stepping in at the right time and closing distance, but also having correct distance and good timing to take that parry and find that riposte. He really does seem very much in control, and if he just keeps it up, I think this is it. He's got it.
That's called the dreaded commentator's curse.
I know. I better not say that.
But it's good for Jamie because he's obviously had some issues with the sport and not falling in and out of love with it as such, but there have been issues where he stepped away from a couple of years from the whole setup, so it's nice to see him back and fighting in a major final.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's kind of moved away from the world-class program. He's moved back up to Scotland, and genuinely seems quite happy, and he seems in a good place with his fencing. So it's good to see him back on fire and on good form, actually.
Here we go then, second period getting underway.
Oh, fantastic! Beautiful flick hit to back. I mean, talking about timing, that really was pure perfect execution.
And although we had a very big lead already, I wonder if that's the hit that will break the back of Zhang's resistance.
Yeah, it's tough now because he's going to be feeling pretty demoralised, I imagine. 10-0 down. And what a fantastic parry post to shoulder. Really, he's barely got off targets in this fight. He's been very accurate.
Well, we did talk about this last night when we saw Chloe Dixon and the difficulty she had in her final against Wang of Singapore. We don't like to see a fighter not scoring a hit, but it's very impressive from Jamie Fitzgerald.
It is, and no matter what fencer you're fencing, it's very difficult not to get a hit against you. He really is fencing with supreme control. Oh, he tried to go for the flick back hit again, but he just missed that and then stepped in and got a fantastic hit to chest.
He's matching Zhang for pace in terms of his hand speed, his reflexes, which is very impressive because nobody's been able to do that with Zhang so far today.
Tried to get the counter parry pass there, he just missed an off target from Zhang. Oh, he's got his hit.
Yeah, that makes it 13-1, Jamie Fitzgerald.
Crosses off target. Again, very controlled. He just needs to get his point on just to finish this off now. Takes the parry, he holds it, and it's off target. This time Zhang tries to attack Fitzgerald on preparation and gets it off target. The attack is off target from the right. This time Fitzy just doesn't time it quite well enough.
Not for the first time we see Zhang just falling off the piece there. I suppose it's just his preference, and it's just the way he fights is to stay on that right hand side. 13-2 now. You've got to think it's simply far too far away for Zhang to come back into this.
I think so. I honestly don't think Fitzgerald is going to let him get too close to him. But we've spoken about this before. It is, no matter how far away in the lead, what a fantastic flick hit to back.
And it's that height difference that's really counting.
It's showing through now. Fitzgerald pressing. It's off target there.
Just a point away from being Commonwealth Gold medalist, Jamie Fitzgerald of Scotland. Lovely
broken time attack there. Oh, and he's done it yet again! Flick hit to back, what a fantastic hit.
Huge smiles on the faces of the Scotland camp. And a big smile now on the face of Jamie Fitzgerald as he gets mobbed on the piste. the first medal, of course, the first gold medal for the home nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scotland's first gold medal, Jamie Fitzgerald. And please show your appreciation to the silver medalist, Zhenggang Zhang of Singapore.
A nice big cheer as well for Zhang of Singapore, but yeah, very much Jamie Fitzgerald's fight. I mean, from the off and opening up such a huge lead, it was quite obvious, I think, by the time we'd kind of got even a few seconds into that second period that there was no way back.